Good afternoon, it's 1 p.m. Thank you for joining us on MNU Newsroom. Today we, Karina Lipnitskaya
and Dmitry Bulimesova, are delivering you the latest news in Astana. Stay with us.
Gas prices are soaring from 155 to 205 tenge. What's next for your bills? Ekaterina reveals the impact.
Potatoes are making headlines as prices spike. What's causing the surge and how is it affecting you?
Despite updates, public transport still faces overcrowding and fare hikes. Why are public transport issues still piling up? Zhanel Erkambayeva reports on the current situation.
What's behind the wage struggles of theatre works at Astana Opera? Sanel Kalkamanova has found out.
Thousands of stray animals, not enough shelters. What's being done to fix this growing crisis? Darya Zhandos reports.
In Astana, some start their day with icy dips instead of coffee. Alima Aslubek meets the Varluses.
After gas prices increased by 2 tenge to 205 tenge, analysts predict that other costs would rise as well. For Kazakhstanis, such a forecast is hardly encouraging.
Our colleague Ekaterina Lukmanova is at the gas station right now and ready to report the latest developments. Ekaterina, can you hear us?
Yes, thank you, colleagues. Kazakhstan has officially canceled state regulation of gasoline and diesel prices. And Energy Minister Almasadam Satkaliyev said that gas prices will continue to rise. So experts predict that prices for buses, taxis and other types of transport will also increase. Let's to survey the drivers how the increase in gas prices has affected their budget.
I'm not satisfied with the prices because they put a greater strain on the family budget. Previously, the price of gasoline was at least 155 tenge, but now it's 205 tenge, which is expensive. To fill up for 5,000 tenge and it lasts me 2 weeks. Now I spend 10,000 tenge for the same 2 weeks. The difference is huge and I don't know where things are headed next.
At this time, I am satisfied with the prices. Of course, the rise in prices is very bad for ordinary people.
Yes, such interesting opinions by the drivers. Earlier we spoke to an economist and he shared these predictions with us.
Yes, there will probably be an increase in fares, especially for public transport buses, cabs, intercity transportation, as fuel is a significant part of the costs.
Yes, but in spite of this, Kazakhstan is in the lead. The country took 6th place in the top for cheapest gasoline amongst CIS countries and 32nd place in the world. We will continue to monitor this situation. That is all for today. I will pass the word to my colleagues.
Karina, it seems that potatoes have been among the first to climb up in price.
Indeed, Akirke. There has been a lot of public outrage and debate over Kazakhstan's rising potato prices. As a result, Kazakhstan restricted its export of potatoes to non-European nations. Our colleague Adel Bakhtiarov went to the market and talked to the salesman.
I used to buy 4 or 5 kilos of potatoes, but now I can only afford 1 or 2 kilos. And even now, I came to the grocery store, but there are no potatoes. To be honest, I buy potatoes only once a year for Olivier salad, so I didn't even notice the price increase. Well, I'm a student and eat potatoes often, so the price increase hit my budget.
The high-brown potatoes, which cost 500 tenge per kilogram in early January, has died down, but this price is still a record high for the past 3 years.
The main reason for the price increase is higher potato exports, especially to Uzbekistan, where the 2024 harvest was low. As a result, exports grew 1.5 times.
Right now, the price is about 318 tenge in vegetable shops and around 420 tenge in stores. Some supermarkets don't have potatoes at all.
However, prices in some regions remain high. For example, in Almaty supermarkets, prices ranged from to 529 tenge per kilogram. Adel Bakhtiarova, Vlada Talipova for MNU Newsroom.
Nearly half of the city's residents rely on public transit. Even though the facilities and fleet have been modernized, problems including overcrowding, poor maintenance and growing fares still exist. Our reporter Zhanel Erkambayeva took a closer look at the city's public transportation problems.
Well, right now I'm standing next to one of Astana's heated bus stops designed to keep passengers warm during the cold winter months. However, some residents say these bus stops don't always work as they should. Meanwhile, maintaining a single covered complex costs 200,000 tenge per month. This includes electricity bills, cleaning, and routine repairs.
Today, the city spends around 60 million tenge every month to maintain heated bus stops. According to city transportation systems, 48% of residents use public transport regularly. With 1,357 buses operating across the city, nearly 950,000 trips are made every day.
Now I think the number of buses is increasing, and in my opinion, the service for people is also improving. Everything seems to be going well.
Over the past 2 years, the city has renewed 48% of its public transport fleet, aiming to improve service quality and environmental efficiency. The fare has also increased from 90 tenge to 110 tenge. However, some passengers say problems like broken heaters, vandalism, and poor installation continue to affect their functionality.
I take the bus every day at 8:30, and it's usually full with no seats available, so I don't see any improvement. There are fewer crowds on buses now compared to before, even during rush hour. I'm pleased with the changes. The new buses are nice, but they get too crowded during peak hours. We still need more routes and better scheduling.
As the city continues to expand, the priority is to improve public transport, ensuring it's more effective, convenient, and accessible for all residents. Жанет Турарқызы for MNU News.
Speaking of other public places, attendance at local theaters continues to rise, with every performance selling out. However, despite the full workload, creative teams and staff report low salaries. Our colleague Sanat Kalkamanova looked into the issue.
Stunning outfits, lively conversations. Another captivating performance is about to take the stage at Astana Opera.
Working in the theater is a great honor. I've been dancing in Astana Opera for 8 years. During this time, I noticed that people became closer to art. With each appearance on stage, we notice this more and more.
According to the theater administration, the attendance is on the rise, with every performance selling out. However, challenges remain. Despite the full workload, employees and the creative team report low salaries. Earlier, Mayor's deputy Sergei Ponomarev stated that 1.5 billion tenge is needed to index the salaries of Astana Opera staff. Last year alone, more than 100 artists left the theater.
We work full-time, 6 days a week. The issue of salary increase worries not only us but also the entire creative team. We hope that our efforts will be appreciated and the salary will be increased.
The deputy noted that in decade, the salary of theater employees has been increased only once by 20%. However, the national theaters have a special regulation.
All state theaters are subsidized, with 90% of their budget coming from the government support, while the remaining 10% must be earned independently. Theaters with national status receive twice as much funding as others. Additionally, the government is set to introduce new initiative in this sector.
The ministry has announced a 22% pay increase for theater workers this year. The precise raise, however, varies each venue. The impact for this pay change on the employees is still unknown. Snell Kalkamandova, Altnay Bakhtbek for MNU Newsroom.
Almost 3,000 pets are housed in temporary shelters throughout Astana and its surroundings. Despite attempts, the issue of stray animals and the lack of shelters remains severe. How can these facilities be supported? Our colleague Daria Jandos reports from one of the Astana shelters.
Thank you, colleagues. Alive is the only accessible shelter in the capital. It is private and works only because of the owner and the volunteers. But the number of stray animals is growing and there is almost no space left.
It seems to me that every person wanted to help, even if it was a small contribution, like bringing a bag of feed for 1,000 tenge or transferring some money to their official account.
There are more than 500 dogs and the cats here much more than the shelter can take. The problem is that food, medicine and the money are running out. The shelter gets no help from the government.
I adopted a cat 3 months ago from a shelter. At the beginning, there were some difficulties with the cat getting used to its home. He was very scared and afraid of me, but having gone through all these difficulties, now I can't imagine my life without him. He's like a piece of my soul.
Without proper support, the situation won't improve. Volunteers are giving, there are, but it's still not enough. If the city doesn't intervene and build more shelters, the number of homeless animals will keep growing. That's all. Daria Jandos for MNE Newsroom.
While some people start their mornings with coffee, others run in the fresh air and dip into icy water. In Astana, there are about 200 like-minded people who prefer the second option. They call themselves walruses. Our reporter Alima Aslbek spoke to enthusiasts.
We are now in the Central Park, where capital citizens are preparing for the morning marathon. It's really cold and windy outside, but it seems that our larks, or as they call themselves, walruses, accustomed to such weather conditions of the capital.
It's not about motivation, but discipline. Overcoming the cold and setting new records in running or exercises is a constant process of self-improvement. I think my favorite actors motivated me as they strengthened their willpower in both the cold and heat. It's a pretty extreme way of feeling part of nature. It creates a sense of harmony, strength, and clarity.
To get ready for the water, rescuers and participants clear the ice hole and check the safety of the area. Then walruses prefer to go for a run or warm up with strength exercises. But the most exciting step is to come. The bravest one decided to dive into the icy water. As for me, this part of the morning marathon, I choose to be spectators.
A feeling of panic may arise. After a while, the body adapts and a sense of vitality follows. After exiting the water, the body gradually warms up and a feeling of lightness emerges, as if all stress have disappeared. The most important thing is to quickly get dressed in warm clothes, and then you can enjoy this day.
Cold and wind are not obstacle for city walruses. For those who'd like to join them, there is a warning. To dive into icy water, check your health. Alima Aslbek for MNE Newsroom.
That's all for today. We will continue monitoring the latest developments.
See you in the evening.